Hello, Warriors. We made it. Check that out on the right on Live Squawk. GameStop may sell up to 45 million shares. So that's what, kind of like shadow companies do. It's their printing press, their shares, it's their currency. So, every time they have a pump, they go to the door and dilute. Well, you'll see. Huh?
I mean, that's like a
Huh?
lot of companies.
Well, I don't
Right?
know. I mean, Apple, yeah, a lot of companies do that, but
Yeah.
look at most of the MAGAs. What do they do? Stock buybacks.
Yep.
Okay, so there's a big difference between companies that value their shares enough to buy them and
Right.
companies that go every time it pops. Hey, we could go to the door and people are buying our currency.
Yeah,
Have a look at the chart
let's
now.
issue more. I'm
Huh?
sorry,
Have a look,
Ryan.
sorry, have a look at the chart.
Oh
I'm
yeah, I
sure
mean
That's
I gave it all
that's
back, right?
yeah, it
going on.
has
Let's
and
celebrate the
yeah,
return of Roaring Kitty.
Yeah, well,
Roaring Kitty is
Kitty,
back from the start of this week, so they want to celebrate it by offering to the
yeah,
market
yeah.
a few
They're
million.
offering some kitty litter
you guys
out
Exactly.
should
there.
go. I haven't seen it yet just because we lived it, but
Yeah.
if you haven't seen Dumb Money, you guys should probably
Oh
go see it.
yeah, yeah. It's
I
good.
still haven't seen it just because it's so ridiculous. But anyway, but yeah,
Anyway,
you take the complete opposite would be companies that actually make money. You take like a company like Apple, and
right.
they actually buy back their stock so they
Yeah,
can reissue it out to you know
yeah,
to executives and staff and employees and
yeah.
so
Anyway, hello everyone. I didn't get to everyone individually. So, all right, let's talk about the markets. Quite a week. So, thought I'd start with the dollar and start off with Ryan. Is this enough of a rally to sell into? Was this enough of a pullback to buy euro and cable and Aussie pretty shallow in a couple of them,
Yeah,
or
we're
or because the yen looks pretty good and maybe we're going to take out this high sometime next week. I don't know, maybe we'll fail here. Almost looks like we're going to do this, this, and then this, but who knows? I'm sorry I interrupted you. Was this enough of a dip?
no, you interrupt away, mate. No, not in my opinion. There's a couple sitting on levels. That one's probably down 108.30. Then
You like
the
that?
108
Yeah.
big figure 10, as
Yeah,
you can see,
Ryan's
just from
talking
those.
about this level, and then also you look at the daily. It was a good signal once it came through these moving averages. That's
Yeah,
it shouldn't get through 780. It looks like to me on any pullback. So 820 to 780 if it's extreme um, next week. But I think you have to look for a place to get long now. I don't see this as some people think this is going to be a big short for the dollar to go to 108. I don't see that yet. It would have to really negate a lot of the action, and it's you got to go with what's happening and buy a pullback. I think. Um,
yeah.
what do you
He's
think?
looking at the short term versus the long term.
Yeah,
Short term, we've had this rally. That rally off of 106, more so the
yeah,
last leg from last week off of 10 low 107s. We had more moderate data. You could have picked holes in it from yesterday,
yeah,
and it was telling that the dollar didn't sell off more. Um, so you got to be. I warned the other day. You got to be careful chasing the dollar up at these levels. We're coming into some decent levels. 109 euro dollar.
yeah,
Aussie dollar got into near 67s. That's pulling backs again. It's hit those points, all those little highs that we had, 66, 40, 50. So it's testing its break point. Cable's doing the same. It hit its head on 127. Now we've pulled back to 126 and a half. This is the test. If the dollar's going to keep selling off, well, it's got to do it. It's got to shit or get off the pot, hasn't it? Or
yeah.
we've seen this phase now over, and now we're probably going to drift sideways until the market decides what it wants to do next. So if you're gonna buy the dip in any of these pairs, euro, dollar, Aussie, whatever, I think you've got to do it pretty tight. You know, Aussie dollar, you know, below 66.40, you're probably wrong, and we're back in the box. So small trades, you know, don't need to put the farm on any of these pullbacks.
Yeah, and along with that, you're getting a little bounce in yields. 10-year coming back. Look at what it held.
Yeah,
the 200-day on the 10-year. I was thinking, you know, maybe back to 450, 460 underneath this. So, you know, we could have, you know, we could be under 4%. We take this out.
yeah.
The support.
But can we take it out?
Yeah, that's a question.
And,
you know,
and what do you do if it doesn't take it out?
Yeah, then, you know, then we're going to, you know, challenge the October's highs. TLT, you know, marginally holding a breakout, but not great action on a breakout either. But I think Jim Welsh would say that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So even if we're completing, you have, you know, you have your first wave, right? So you should be looking for a corrective pullback at the most. So anyway, that's about all I have on my plate. I'm not that impressed with Canada's bounce. I mean, it's okay, it's holding, but you know, I don't think it's going to get through 70. You know, I think this is the level, may even be stopping right here, just like the dollar could fade the rest of the day. Anyway, you know, I don't really institute a lot of new positions on Friday. Do you guys?
Not if I can help it. Depends.
Yeah, I try to make up my entire month right now, like right now.
My year, yeah.
To my
So
year.
you-
I'm going to make my year right now on this Friday.
So you
That's
up your
sarcasm,
size.
obviously.
Yeah, I know it is. Yeah, so you know, the week is made. You know, there's no NFP today. I don't know if we're going to have anything major happening today. It's probably into next week. So
This
Hopefully that's a
is
kiss of death,
this.
Dale.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan. Go ahead.
I'm saying hopefully that's a kiss of death, and we get some good volatility to finish the week off.
today.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, I think it's really worth talking about. I'm glad you brought that up, Ryan. This is today, I think, is going to be very, very pivotal. I think a lot of people are packing it in, thinking that this breakout is assured in equities. But if you take a look at like the German DAX at the end of the week, we're kind of sliding a little bit into support. You know, the S&P, don't forget, we're only 15 points away. 15 points is a sneeze away. We're 15 points away from the breakout point. There's obviously a good chance that we just hold the breakout point, but you know, when the market opens, we could very easily just give back some gains, and next thing you know, you're triggering stops below 20 or 5280 in the S&P, which is about 20 points away from current levels. That happens, you probably get some accelerated selling just from stops alone. So this is not a day that I would be packing it up early. It feels like there's, you know, no trades to be made at this moment, but I would be a little careful today. I would be, after this extended move and a breakout to all-time highs. If we turn around and we give it back and we start, you know, breaking back down by the end of the day, there could be some moves. I wouldn't pack it in, but that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Watch
No,
out,
you're right.
watch out for saloon doors, because I think today we have an OPEX day. So whatever happens today may not be true again on Monday. Yeah?
Really great point of view.
Whatever happens today may be just fake, and then on Monday we just pick up where we left it yesterday or today, this morning.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it would surprise me if this is the high because of the Mo in S&Ps. It would have to do some work here, you know, like pull back and then make a new high, and stuff like that. I rarely see markets peak for a major top with, I think it's almost 90 RSI there, 87. So yeah, we'll see.
It's got 13 more points to go.
Okay. I think a lot of people are talking in the 54s to 55s. I think even Grega has some kind of count for a terminal count. Saw it on LinkedIn. He's going to come in and show it. Maybe not today. It's no hurry. It's probably going to take a week or so. But he's going to come in and show that. I just the weakness. I was just showing Amazon in the strong tape, right? I mean, it topped last week. Market made new all-time highs, and I don't know what's wrong with it. Still think it could make a new high. And you guys know I've been pretty bearish. Apple, but got out before the disaster. I was looking at this a long time ago, thinking it was a possibility, and now it's looking even more possible. Is this there, that we could get some type of third drive up here, take out this. This is 1, this is 2, and trade over 200
Yeah,
before it's over.
It does look, it looks strong. I mean, look, you got Chinese markets closed at their highs at the end of the week. Copper looks freaking bullish. It's hard to fade this market. But I would also not sleep on it either. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
it's and K-Man, you make a great point. It is OPEX. Hey, Dale,
Hey,
you want me to
K-Man,
go ahead and take over?
yeah, after this, K-Man made the great point when he got back, just right back in the saddle. He talked about yesterday's low. I think it was in Asia in the yen, and how he thought, you know, the yen's just not going with the weak dollar scenario, and he talked about the low that we saw here yesterday when it turned, and that we weren't up here yet. So, K-Man, do you think we could push through this level and maybe trade?
I do because we didn't have any hawkish comments from Ueda once again overnight, and
Yeah,
it's again, if you look at the and I was talking about it on the flow show as well. Typically, in a low FX options volatility environment, risk in the FX pairs, I'm not talking about equity markets also, but risk in the FX pairs is doing pretty okay, meaning that high yielders are doing relatively okay versus low yielders, yen still being a low yielder. There's a fair possibility that we go back into the 156s. And then we'll have to wait to what's happening on Monday again. If they decide to go for a spike on Monday morning, we may be into intervention territory again. But for the time being, I don't see what's going to stop it now, and especially that yen crosses are still bid as well. There's
okay.
still very little to hold this. The one thing to keep an eye on the other hand, is JGB yields. The 10-year is now really closing in on the 1%, and I'm not sure what's going to happen there. Will they just let it go? That may put a little bit of a bid under the end, but it remains to be seen, because Suzuki was already doing nervous about the yields and what it means for the government funding. So all else equal, I don't see what really is going to stop this right now, unless people want to take profits. But I mean, it's just a profit taking. I found this bounce quite significant.
Okay, what does Honda and Yamaha think?
They're zooming away because they're going electric now as well.
Anyway, I had a Honda 90, and that scared me when I was a teenager. So, one mistake business, those motorcycles. Like trading. So go ahead, Blake. Take it
Hey,
away,
well,
partner.
okay. Well, first of all,
What?
I want to show you guys this. I think this is here. You want to talk about risks of breaking today. This is silver, right? And I think silver's worth noting because $30 is right around the corner. Got a lot of stops heading up here. Look at this wedge that's building intraday. And you may be thinking at this moment, well, let's just go ahead and short it because it's right up against resistance. But when you're wedging like this, it looks like it wants to threaten a breakout point. And plus, you got $30. I mean, $30 is a round number. There are a lot of people that are just simply saying, it gets above $30, just go ahead and buy it. Buy it could be get long, cover shorts, whatever it is. You got to imagine there's a lot of buy orders above this $30. So, being its options expiration, as K-Man pointed out, there's I think a risk that you could get a nice little squeeze above that $30. Might be as soon as as we're listening. So just or as we're broadcasting. So just keep that in mind. I think that's a big deal right now. Also pointed out copper very strong. Copper is. We are at the big 161% extension. It's a big Gartley completion, but or some people would call it more of a cipher, but whatever. It's some sort of harmonic that is threatening an upside break. And then on top of that, you've got the dollar that's looks a little vulnerable. When I say vulnerable, meaning it's vulnerable to a correction. We've had a nice little sell-off in the dollar, and now we're bouncing back quite aggressively. And we completed our double top. Matter of fact, if you use ForexAnalytix, a lot of our closed pattern and plays were completion patterns, like the dollar index completed and hit the target this week. As we did the double top, and there's a 200-day just below that. So the dollar, in my opinion, still looks like we can stretch our legs a little bit. And I want to also mention that if the stock market is indeed vulnerable, which I believe it is, I thought this week's move was purely as I mentioned to you guys yesterday, it was purely a short squeeze. That was it. Just poor positioning this week. We talked about it multiple times over the last 48 hours. And therefore, you can see it on, really divergent relative strength here, that this move is not sustainable, in my opinion.
Weekly.
I'm sorry?
Look at the weekly.
Oh, yeah. Very, very divergent. Yeah. And so therefore, I think that the risks are that we create a little bit of a false breakout. I had those odds, in my opinion, were about 40% yesterday for a false breakout. Today, I think it's more like 50%. I think there's a 50% shot today that we do get a false breakout. Now, yesterday's, if you guys didn't see it, and let's pull up let's pull up the spiders. That's a good chart that I don't draw a lot on. That if you guys can't see it, let me just zoom in a little bit here. That's a gravestone doji. Okay. That's not a bullish candle. We closed on our lows yesterday. So that's one of the big tells that I've had the last, 12 hours or so, to be thinking, okay, we have to be on guard going into the end of the week. Then on top of it, you start looking around at some of these European markets, and let me pull up the German DAX for you. I posted it this morning on ForexAnalytix. You guys have probably already seen it because I tweeted about it too. So 127% extension. I had thought, we could reach for the 161% extension. I would be more of an advocate of shorting up there, but the fact of the matter is we're stalling here. Relative strength is very, very divergent on this move up. I thought we might be able to stretch our legs. Watch that German DAX if we break back below support. Take a look at the CAC 40. Nice double top setting up. FTSE even looks a little vulnerable here. Sorry, guys. This is where K-Man and Ryan's wealth disappears real quick. Just kidding. Joking. Obviously, but you can see these are markets that I do and have a little bit of concern with right now. So it'll be interesting to watch us going into the end of the week, as the S&P is just sitting very, very quietly on the support, and we could see stops, multiple places. Stops really get triggered, in my opinion. The FX market's a little bit less. I think after we've had using K-Man's saying the saloon doors have kind of swung in both directions in the dollar index this week. You know, you had everybody and their mothers, brothers, uncles, sisters, nephews, monkey shorting the dollar earlier this week. That swung around, turned them around really fast, you know, after we completed that double top, and we're getting back to a neutral area. So the dollar is less convincing to me on either direction. Oh, one of the other things you brought up TLT earlier, K-Man.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that the 10-year notes are at, this is the squeeze point. This is the point following CPI that, you know, that created the big, move, you know, and the 10-year squeezed above that. We're right back at the 50 DMA. We're at that pivotal area. So it's not, you know, this is a very kind of dicey area for notes. That's why I think the dollar is kind of like, I'm not really sure what I want to do with the dollar at this point. But if the 10-year bounces here, you know, yields would come down, dollar might suffer as a result. We might see maybe some dollar yen volatility at the end of the week, maybe some dollar volatility. I'm not so sure there, alongside with the dollar. But I guess yeah, the last thing is, you focus on crypto. You know, Ethereum's knocking its head up right against resistance. You guys want a good, risk reward for a short, just short Ethereum right now and put your stops above, a little bit above today's highs. This is a bearish wedge that's setting up. If you guys think that stocks might give it back today, might lead the charge in crypto. I don't know if I mean, you look at Bitcoin, we're right up against the 618 retracement as well. So you got, both Ethereum and Bitcoin right up against, pretty key resistance. Flip side is, I guess, if they break and the stock market continues its breakout, you might get some crypto love at the same time. You might get some of these breaking out. If you tend to be in the more bullish camp, then you wait for breakouts above, Bitcoin above 67,000 and Ethereum above, the 3,100, and you're probably going to get a nice little squeeze in both of those. So, it depends on how you want to play it. Not everybody's going to be a crypto bear. There's a lot of crypto bulls out there too. So I think, we're at pretty key levels. So you look around and there's some markets that have some opportunity today, and it looks like we might get some opportunity. So like I said, I don't think it's where you want to pack it in early. So let me turn our attention and my attention over to Ryan really quick. Ryan, next week, what's on the radar next week? That you're looking at. I'm looking at the PMIs. Do you see anything that really is jumping out towards next week for you?
No, there's been, you say, you got the PMIs coming. It's a bit quiet in the US again, but the UK is probably going to take the main focus. We've got the CPI next week, so that's going to be big for the quid and what the clowns at the circus, the BOE, are going to do.
So what's the boots on the ground opinion? What's boots on the ground opinion regarding inflation in your neck of the woods?
Regarding inflation, it's going to come down a bit. I don't know how much it's going to come down, as much as the Bank of England as is generally the case. But prices are still high. You still go to the shops. It's still see high prices and a few shortages on the shelves and stuff. So we're definitely not out of the woods. But they're going to take it on the basket. We should see CPI coming down because of the energy price cap cut that kicked in April. So this data is going to be for April. So I think the Bank of England are hanging a lot on that number. But I would potentially take the other side of that trade because we know what the Bank of England like about forecasting.
Tell us, Ryan. Tell us.
I'll tell you, they couldn't even get their GDP forecast right. You remember the BOE? They said Q1 GDP will likely be 0.4%. 19 hours later, we got the GDP numbers. It was 0.6%.
Well, you guys are staffing. You got a couple of Americans over there at the MPC or at the Bank of England now. You got Bernanke throwing his
back.
What? No, you can take him. You have him. No, he's yours. He's yours. Matter of fact, I think you're going to make him a citizen. You're going to naturalize him over there, right?
Well, we already had the Canadian, didn't we? with
Bring
Arnie.
back Danny Blanchflower.
Hey,
Oh.
I love Danny. I miss
And Peter
Danny.
Where
Schiff.
is he? Where is
I
he?
don't
Danny
know,
Blanchflower.
man.
We need
I
to
think
do
he
another one of
disappeared.
those, don't we?
Huh?
Peter Schiff and Danny Blanchflower. Remember that?
Yeah,
from
I
Yeah,
think
I
he
think
rode
that.
off into the sunset. I think he's busy
Yeah,
retiring.
that ruined his career. The guy he's just hiding out now since then. I think he
I've
lost
seen a
his
couple.
temper a few
I,
times with people.
I think he's I think I seen him a couple pictures of him and his grandkids, and I think he's riding off into the sunset, which
Yeah,
Good luck.
makes sense. You know,
yeah.
I'd make
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, so Ryan, you think it could come in a little weaker? It's going to be
No.
CPI is going to be the big headline for you next week.
Hotter. A little
Yeah.
hotter. Not weaker.
All right. K-Man, what do you think going into next week?
You guys said it. I mean, PMI, UK data. That's probably going to be it. It's relatively quiet, otherwise on the calendar, right? So all else equal, I think we continue to see what we are experiencing now. That is, in a quiet environment, low yielders should, in theory, remain a bit more under pressure than high yielders, if nothing else happens. But we have to be very careful because, and that's going to be interesting next week with those sterling data, is that a position that I have, for instance, still on sterling Swiss, is now coming into a monstrous medium to long-term resistance area here between, it starts right here, basically 115.10 all the way up to 116 and a half, 116 3/4 even. That is one very big long-term resistance area on the sterling Swiss. So
K-Man, I was sitting there reading your mind, and I was sitting there thinking he's going to talk about the Swiss, but I was thinking you were going to talk about the Euro Swiss that's actually breaking out right now.
yeah,
But
Euro Swiss is doing pretty all right.
Yeah. So here's that big level you're talking about on the pound Swiss. I mean, you start looking at extensions, and let's say Ryan's wrong here, and you get some continued risk on. People want to sell Swiss. You get some inflation, and let's say it's a little sticky in the UK. Next thing you know, you got that euro that pound Swiss trading at 117.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I think it eventually will. But I think for now, for next week, the risk will be more on the sterling side, perhaps, than on the Swiss side, or the relaxed Swiss look. I would say I'm still short Swiss in several positions, but not as big as I had. So I think we need to respect the levels. No, Forex Gal, I'm not strongly neutral. I'm still a bit bearish Swiss franc.
Look at that divergence. I mean,
And the other one, which is again doing pretty all right. Well, I mean, the dollar is relatively quiet, but I think the MEX is doing okay again, and that's once more a testimony of those low FX vols, positive risk trade, and positive high yielders. And I'm still a bit short Euromex. This is now approaching a pretty decent support zone around 18, 17, 96, 97. This is one I'm keeping an eye on as well.
Sorry, I was just I was in the chat. I'm in the chat room talking about this is Mark. We were talking about this is in the ForexAnalytix chat room, of course. We're talking about,
guys are not talking golf while we on face.
we are talking golf right now. Scotty Scheffler is,
I mean, red
he
card.
just got detained by the police. What the fuck? He's like
a red card, like
red card. I mean, sorry, that's a red card offense.
Damn it. But you know, this guy, no way. He's like the goody two shoes of the PGA Tour. How's that happen? Anyway, sorry. I digress. All right. So we don't have any data today. K-Man, thank you for talking about the Swiss. I knew you were going to. And I think that's a really good look. You got this pound Swiss that really, it looks like stop squeezy, right? It does. I don't think we had any data coming out, right? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, a bit of Canadian stuff, but nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing that's going to change the
What's
pace of the world.
USCB leading index? What's
Conference board.
Oh,
Conference board leading index. I mean, it's like a
yeah,
survey.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the
It's one of
consumer
those.
confidence.
It's one of those ones where they add up 200 other different indicators and put it into one. It's
Okay.
nothing.
Okay.
Okay. That's
Well, therefore, we're gonna be wrapping up the week. But Dale, what are you looking at next week? Anything?
the
How about
ocean, the harbor, a boat ride.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's
You're gonna be on
Sleeping.
vacation.
Yeah,
You're gonna
so
be on vacation.
I'm strongly neutral next week, but I lean towards selling strength in the dollar index up towards, almost got there today, 105, maybe risking 105.70. That I think you have to go with that this bounce is a selling opportunity in the dollar until
All right.
proven.
Well, let's not forget we have Nvidia earnings next week while Dale is away. So
Gosh.
it
I'm not
could
even
be.
bringing my laptop. Okay. I'm
No,
detaching.
you shouldn't. As you shouldn't. You should just
Yeah.
go ahead and, sail off into
But
the
what do you
sunset.
do about all those emails that pile up for days and then you have to come back and delete 100 emails, 200 emails?
Shift and delete, Dale. Shift and delete.
My
Shift
inbox right now has 25,452 unread emails. So I'll tell you what happens with my emails when
Okay. That's what I'll do. The hell with them, right? If it's important,
you know what?
they'll get back to you.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's I'm horrible with emails anyway.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah,
anyway,
you got go ahead. What
no,
you
go
saying?
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just reading DHL group.
DHL.
Yeah, so let's
It's
I'll take a look at it.
It's a transport company.
Yep.
Well, mail
Sure
service, isn't it?
What's that?
Mail service.
Yeah, I mean that's like the international choice of most Americans too. So
Okay. Yeah.
I mean
That's a Deutsche Post, though. It says up there.
Yeah, but that's DHL.
Oh, God, weird. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I mean,
all right.
gap fill, maybe. Yeah. I mean, that's all I'd be thinking. Anyway, guys, gals, I want to thank you all for being with us this week. Dale, I want to thank you for guiding us this week, and I hope you have a really wonderful weekend or a week, excuse me, away.
Thanks,
and you get to take in the ocean air and the ocean air and warm rays and get yourself a nice
it's going to
tan.
be cold. It's
really?
It's May gray into June gloom, but I don't care.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah,
take it in, man.
Dale, avoid Lagarde style suntan, please. I mean, that's not looking very nice, right?
What isn't?
Avoid a Mrs. Lagarde from the ECB suntan.
Oh, yeah,
that one.
Yeah.
Have a great holiday. Thank you for everything.
All right, I thank you guys. Everyone, Face won't miss a beat. Best team on the net. Blake's has some nice interviews. Adam Button will be live from South Africa for you, Blake.
He's coming in from South Africa.
Well, he'll be there.
Really?
Yeah, he's down
that's
there
interesting because there is an election coming up, and we were just talking about the rand in the chat room.
Yeah, so maybe that's why he's down there to cover it for Forex Live. So you have some good people to talk to, and I'll see everyone after Memorial Day.
Yeah, and guys, hey, if you guys are just a little heads up, if you are a fan of ForexAnalytix, I'm going to tell you, you might want to take a trial today. We got some potentially exciting news for you next week. So you might want to, take your trial of ForexAnalytix today or over the weekend. It's $1 for 10 days. Try it out, see what it's all about. And I'll surprise you guys next week. So
what a tease.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So don't just count your teases, count your blessings. Thank you very much. Always, I'll miss you guys, and everyone have a great weekend. Enjoy, recharge, and be ready, and make May pay. Still have half a month. Okay, so tip my waiter. I do, Tony. 2%. I'm kidding you. So anyway, you have a
Damn
yeah,
cheapskate.
huh? No,
Damn you,
I'm
cheapskate.
at 15. I'm at 15. I guess I could go to 20, like I think
No, they
most
go
people are now.
25 now, baby. That's what they
Really? They go
expect.
25?
Oh God,
Jeez.
yeah, it's
Oh my
ridiculous.
God.
I know.
They'll
I
stay
mean,
at home now.
You know, they want 25 when you go and pick it up too. They don't even serve you. They want a tip.
The whole tipping culture right now is when I go pick up my own pizzas and I
Yeah.
have to tip, I'm just like, they get the
For
double
what?
finger. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
All right. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend. And team, another great week. I mean, got great calls Blake made on buying the dip in PPI. Uh, that was a real nice trade. I mean, and if you were with K-Man and Stelios, you had a good year in silver, and it hasn't even broken out over 30 yet. So, good traders, surround yourself with them. Yeah, through osmosis, you'll get better. Um, that's it. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Adios, everyone. Have a great weekend. See you
Thanks,
Have a
soon.
good
Coach. Have
holiday,
a
Dale.
wonderful trip.
All right. Thanks, guys.